The best way to stay up to date on the issues that impact your life is to listen to the new Freedom 96.9 and freedom969.com. Mornings at noon and on your way home from work. Oklahoma's Talk Radio. Freedom
Weather.
Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. This afternoon, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 95. Tonight will be partly cloudy and humid with a low of 74. Tomorrow will be breezy with some sunshine and a high of 94. On Monday, anticipate a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 96. Tuesday will bring sunny to partly cloudy conditions and very warm temperatures reaching a high of 97. Wednesday looks mostly sunny and very warm, also with a high of 97. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
We interrupt our program with a special bulletin.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station.
Broadcasting live from the Command Center of Freedom, 96.9 in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma. Saving lives, protecting property, fortifying Oklahoma one roof at a time. I'm Rick Allen Lippert, here with Hague Certified Master Level Damage Inspector, Oklahoma Licensed Public Adjuster, Fortified Evaluator, and IBHS Fortified Roofing Contractor, Scott McCullum.
Good morning, sir.
Also here is Hague Certified Roofing Inspector Scotty McCullum.
Good morning, Rick.
Retro Radio Randy running the show again today. After we let him talk last week, we've put him back on probation, so he won't be talking on the air today. But you can talk to him when you call 405-608-4377. That was him just waving.
Just to prove he's
on the
here.
live stream.
On the McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma YouTube channel. You can also hear us anywhere on freedom969.com. We'll start as usual with our trivia question and other interesting tidbits, including the word of the week, which is actually a phrase of the week this week. The phone number to answer the trivia question or to just ask a question, 405-608-4377. Later, we'll hear Scotty's view from the rooftop, and we'll have some after the storm tips brought to you by Roof RX, and we'll wrap up with Dad's wisdom. Coming back from breaks, we'll have some genuinely obscure historical trivia. So, guys, I was driving by Harry's TV and Appliances the other day and remembered that I needed a new filter for my ice maker. Mm-hmm. So I dropped in and I bought the last one they had on the shelf. Imagine my surprise when I open it up when I get home, and there's a note inside that said S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 80000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. Now, how did your attorney know that I was going to, on a whim, stop by and buy a filter for an ice maker?
Well, you know what I want to know is I'm thinking maybe Harry has something to do with all of this stuff.
You know, Harry hadn't been in the store in a long time.
Yeah, but, you know, he knows a lot.
He does know a lot of people. Okay, so let's get started with our trivia question.
All right. According to the currently adopted and amended Oklahoma Reconstruction Building Code, how many asphalt shingle roofs are allowed on one particular roof surface?
Okay, what are our choices?
Is that 1, 2, 3, or 4 or more?
Okay. Well, if you think you know the answer, give us a question, 405-608-4377. The winner will get either a Lowe's $25 gift card or tickets to Carpenter Square Theater's last production of the season tonight or tomorrow afternoon, She Kills Monsters. All
but
about
not
Dungeons
the
and Dragons.
last production. There's always going to be another season.
Well, there'll be another season, but the ticket voucher is only good for this season.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
You
Yes.
dirty dog.
I didn't make that rule. I didn't make that rule. It's just good for this season.
All right.
All right. So how many roofs are allowed on a single house how many
asphalt shingle roofs
asphalt
are
shingle
allowed
roofs.
on a build? On a
How many
home?
layers of asphalt shingles?
Yes, yes. 1, 2, 3, or
I didn't write
4
the question.
or more.
Like you said, you didn't write the rule. I didn't write the question.
Yeah. So, and I can recall way back when helping a buddy of mine whose dad was a roofer, going up on roofs and putting an asphalt shingle roof on top of a shake roof. We said, "Oh yeah, we do it all the time. We put two layers on here."
I had a
And
Well, let me tell
the
you that
rationale was the more shingles, the better.
yeah.
the more protection from the elements, but that's not necessarily the case. And we'll get to that in today's segment of my
Okay.
view from the rooftop. But what was I going to say? Anyways, Dad.
Yeah, I had a guy. I was on a roof yesterday with a crew, and we were talking about some stuff and kind of laughing. And he said that he had done a roof for another contractor, another roofer, that had 7 layers of asphalt shingles. And I kind of told him, I said, you're stretching this a little bit. 7 layers? He said, no, 7, senor. And I'm thinking 7 layers of asphalt. I'm surprised the building didn't collapse.
Exactly.
You know? Anyway.
And in recent memory, this was a few years ago, there was a project in Bethany
that had
a
4
wood shake roof and 4 additional layers of shingles
yeah.
on top of it.
Yep.
So that's just to give some context for this question. Not saying that was up to standard, but or even acceptable or legal, but we have seen that before.
Well, I recall when I first met you and you were doing my roof on the flat part, when you peeled it off, you found 7 distinct layers of tar, hot tar.
Built up roofs.
Built up roofs, yeah.
7 distinct roofs. They
Yeah.
had put a roof on top of a roof on top of a roof on top of a roof.
Yeah.
Holy
Yep.
smokes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. All right.
All right. Word of the week, phrase of the
Okay.
week.
So if you know, I always try to tie these things together.
Yes.
So if you're smart out there and listening right now, we're going to talk now about clean.
Pretty early, Dad.
We're going to talk about clean deck tear off. Okay. What is clean deck tear off? In roofing, clean deck tear off refers to the removal process where all existing roofing materials are stripped down to the bare roof deck, typically plywood or OSB, leaving no old felt, nails, shingles, or debris behind. It ensures the deck is completely exposed and clean so it can be fully inspected for damage such as rot or water intrusion, delamination or soft spots, loose or missing fasteners. It matters because it allows the contractor to assess and repair the structural integrity of the deck, ensure the proper fastener retention for the new underlayment and shingles, and comply with certain aspects of the International Residential Code.
Okay. All right. How many years has the clean deck been part of the residential building code?
Don't get me to lying.
Okay.
I am familiar.
Is it even part of the current building
I am
code?
familiar with the building codes back to 2009, and that's probably about where my knowledge of the building
Okay.
codes comes in, and more and more deeply involved in that as the years have gone by. I know that it's been in every code that I've ever looked at.
I just recall seeing as I've seen roofs being replaced, and they take it down the slats, and I forget what they're called, the strips.
The plank decking?
Plank. Yeah.
Well,
with gaps. And,
you had a wood shake.
I had a wood shake.
So
yeah.
you had what is called skip decking.
Skip decking. That's
Okay,
it. yeah.
skip decking is where you have a 1x4, a space, and a 1x4.
Okay.
Plank decking is where you have the wood planks, the 1x6s, 1x8s, 1x10s, 1x12s, that theoretically are butting up against each other.
Right.
Okay, and so that's 2 different kinds of decking.
Okay. But
All right.
but for at least 25 years or so, clean. It's got to be like a 4x8 sheet of OSB or plywood.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And do you have clients that want to keep their old skip decking?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, occasionally we'll have someone who.
Sometimes we do deck over skip decking if
Okay.
it's in acceptable condition to be decked on top of, like we do with a plank deck sometimes.
Okay.
But there are technical bulletins from the manufacturers for what is called deck mending, where if someone has the plank decking that is in reasonably good condition, okay, you can actually go in, and if those boards are, you can go in and re-nail, tighten everything up, re-nail it. If the boards are over 1x6s, 5.5 inches wide, then what you would do, you actually have to take a saw and you have to split the boards. You have to cut a 1x8 into a 1x4, into two 1x4s, a 1x10 into two 1. You see what I'm saying? You have to cut it in half and re-nail it.
Okay.
Okay. And that allows you to actually do acceptable deck mending to the manufacturer's requirements, if the manufacturer allows that. But the gaps in that decking, after you have repaired it, after you have mended it, cannot be more than, depending on the manufacturer, 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch.
Oh, my.
Okay, so 1/8 inch is not very thick, guys.
No.
Okay, and
It's very small space.
1/4 inch is, you can barely stick the little tip of your pinky finger in 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not huge gaps that make that an unacceptable deck surface for asphalt shingle roofs.
Okay, well, before we take a break, I want to get the trivia question back out there again. According to the currently adopted and amended Oklahoma Reconstruction Building Code, how many asphalt shingle roofs are allowed on a residential structure? Is that fair enough?
Yep.
Good.
One?
Good way to phrase
Is it one layer of asphalt shingles, 2, 3, or 4 or more? Give us a call, 405-608-4377. Remember, we're live streaming on the McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma YouTube channel, and we're also on freedom969.com. When we come back, we'll be talking about what you guys did this past week.
Oh,
You
wow.
actually had some nice weather, hot weather.
Nice weather.
Well, it was not wet.
Yeah, it wasn't rainy.
You weren't on top of a roof in Enid on Thursday afternoon. That's
You
for sure.
are correct, sir. and I want to hear how you spell insurance. It's McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Guanera, CEO of Blue Falcon Aerial. We're proud to partner with McRoof.us to enhance the Roof RX program. McRoof.us already has a trusted, proven system, and we're here to add an extra layer of precision with crystal clear drone imagery using the state-of-the-art Mavic 3 series. With our background in the surveying industry and as drone instructors at Francis Tuttle, we know accuracy. Our documentation supports McRoof's certified professionals so they can make the best recommendations for your roof, saving lives and protecting property, one roof at a time. Roof RX, where technology meets technical competence.
They deal with the insurance company for you, which is so nice and helpful.
One of the most important things that I prioritize is setting the right expectation, what they can expect from their insurance carrier, what ducks need to be lined up to make sure their project reaches the outcome that they desire.
I'm on the phone most of the day, talking with insurance companies, trying to resolve a claim that has not been paid correctly. We don't give up.
They were able to come out and give a full, in-depth inspection. That process ultimately led to a doubling of the claim.
He probably got me, at least on this roof, $50,000 more by my calculation than I would have gotten with the other roofers.
It goes far beyond what a normal roofing company would do. We're going to do it right.
McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma, back on the air. Hey, on this date in 1775, the U.S. Continental Congress created the United States Post Office in Philadelphia under Benjamin Franklin. And then on this date in 1788, remember we fought the Revolutionary War. The Constitution wasn't ratified till 1789, but on this date in 1788, New York became the 11th state to ratify the Constitution. Took another year for the other two colonies to get their act together.
Come around.
Yeah. Okay, so once again, the trivia question. According to the currently adopted and amended Oklahoma Reconstruction Building Code, how many asphalt shingle roofs are allowed to exist on a residential house? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4 or more? If you think you know the answer, give us a call, 405-608-4377. Okay, guys, what did you do this past week?
Scotty, you go first.
Not very much.
What do you mean, not very much?
Caught up on office work. Met some adjusters too.
5 non-rainy days.
Wow.
No,
wow.
I mean, I was being facetious.
Oh, okay.
I hope you know that I don't sit around too often and twiddle my thumbs. But yeah, met some adjusters. Met some met some homeowners for the first time that need an insurance claim. Several of those. Let's see. And yeah, that's what I prioritized is I did a couple repairs, but other than that, I did a lot of work on the computer trying to get insurance supplements turned into insurance companies and other documentation to customers as in the form of their reports and repair recommendations.
Okay.
So this was my week in the field. So, Will will be in next week, our new production fella.
Okay.
And so I had another hot week in the field this week. And got some roofs knocked out, and man, I tell you what, it's fun in ways. It's nice for me to be out there and see the evolution and the improvements in terms of the crews and their understanding, the depth of knowledge that they have about what and why.
Oh, good.
Is really, really exciting, and they enjoy having me out there because I pick at them and we have fun. You know. Oh, you want perfecto? Yeah, I want perfecto. So anyway, we have a good time. Yesterday we had a contest throwing rolls of ice and water around, and here's these young bucks out there, and they thought they were so tough, and so I got out there throwing ice and water. Scotty, what's a roll of ice and water weigh? It's 2 squares of ice and water. What's that weigh?
Probably 65 to 70 pounds.
Probably about 82 pounds. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So we had. So I'm a little sore today, but anyway, it was kind of funny. But man, and I had a week twice this week, and it just blows my mind. You guys know that we at McRoof, we're about customer service. We're about that client experience and trying to make sure that we put our best foot forward. Everybody on my team is awesome at that. I walk into 2 box stores this week, okay? The first one I walk in and I go over to the pro desk. If anyone knows now, you know what box store I was in. Mm-hmm. I go to the pro desk and I make my purchase. And it's a significant purchase of 4x8 sheets of OSB. And the guy asked me if I'd like someone to help me, out. And I said, sure. He says, oh, see these guys walking down the aisle, just go over to them and tell them you need their help. So there's 2 guys and a young lady walking down the aisle towards the front door. And I walk over, and one of the guys says, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I need, and I showed him my ticket. I need to get this OSB loaded up and get it in the back of my truck. He says, oh, it's over on the next aisle. I said, he saw the look on my face. He says, oh, you want me to help you load it? I said, no, sir. I want you to load it. These 2 young bucks started on me, and the girl actually said to me, well, you look big and strong. I walked to the front desk. I handed him my receipt. I said, give me my money back and find the manager. So then I go to the other box store. I'm sitting there with the flat dollies that you load sheet goods on,
Right.
loading OSB by myself after I've already helped an older lady and her handicapped husband load their OSB, helped them. I'm standing there loading my own. 3 employees walked past me, never even acknowledged I was sucking air, much less asked me if they could help me. The 4th employee came, young man, says, "Sir, can I help you?" I said, "Absolutely. I appreciate it." I said, "You're the 4th employee, the first one who's offered to help." He helped me load it up, pushed it up to the cashier, went out to my truck, helped me load it up. And I said, "Thank you very much." He said, "Sir, if you ever come in this store again in the mornings, I'm always here, and somebody won't help you do something or you need something, you just let them know to call Adam, and I'll come and help you anytime."
Well,
and I'm
good.
thinking, they'll probably fire him.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it just, and the point of that is customer service, not.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Hey, Carmen has been patiently waiting on the
Oh,
phone.
sorry, Carmen.
Hello, Carmen.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So
Good morning. How are you doing?
I take it you
Good
want
morning.
you want to give us a shot at the trivia question. So, how many?
I mean, why not?
How many asphalt shingle roofs are allowed on a house? Go ahead.
Is it 2?
Dad?
Mwah.
Uh-oh. Good try, Carmen.
Good try, Carmen. Good
Thanks
try.
for calling,
thank
and we're
you.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Have a good rest of your weekend.
Carmen, do you have a question
Oh.
for us?
Hey,
Yeah, that's a good question.
let's
I
talk
should
to
ask
Carmen
that.
for a second.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I don't know anything about roofs.
You don't?
No,
You
not
know-
a single thing.
Do you know what kind of roof you have?
Zero clue. Couldn't even tell you.
Is it like, does it just look, you know what shingles like? I mean, does it look like most people's roof or does it look like something
Yeah, it
else?
looks like shingles. I'm pretty sure it's just shingles. but
Okay.
That's all I got for you. I don't know anything about roofs.
All right.
Well, that's why you're listening in, I guess.
No, she's
Exactly.
bored this morning. She was dialing for something to listen to. So.
Yeah.
No, I'm not bored. I was like, let me learn about roofs. I need to educate myself.
Hey, Carmen, you want to give another shot at how many roofs, how many layers of shingles can be on a roof?
Okay. Wait. Is it 3?
Okay, Carmen. Okay,
Okay.
Carmen. Have a great
I
day.
tried.
Thanks
I
for
tried.
playing.
You guys
Okay.
too.
Okay.
Generous
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh well, there we go. So
So
anyway,
we have a minute and a half. How do you spell insurance?
well, this is one of those things. You know, we talk about the some of the things that adjusters say to us, and every now and then, some of the things that adjusters say to us, they actually put in writing. And this week, we have a claim where we had submitted a supplement for our insured before we had done the work for decking, because we knew that he was going to have a redeck.
Okay, a clean deck.
A
clean deck and a redeck.
A clean deck and
Everyone
a
gets
redeck.
Everyone gets a clean deck with McRoof.
So the adjuster put in writing, yes, he has ordinance or law coverage, but if that decking is damaged by wear, tear, or gradual deterioration, we are not going to pay for it. One of the most asinine statements I've ever heard from an adjuster, and certainly something that her company would not have wanted put in writing. In other words, you're telling me, Hope Glenn Balretti, my good friend, is listening this morning. You're telling me that you charge this person for ordinance or law coverage, and you have photos and documentation of decking that has gaps over 1/4 inch, that has holes, rotted wood in it, where the planks are broken and destroyed. I cannot attach an asphalt shingle roof to it. and you're going to use wear, tear, and gradual deterioration as a means to deny payment for ordinance or law coverage, I think that the OID would want to hear about that.
Ooh. More about this on McRoof Fortifies,
Can
Oklahoma.
she spell insurance?
After the news.
Set a button and tell all your friends. Like us on Facebook and tell the world about the station in Oklahoma letting freedom ring. With 100,000 watts of power, the new Freedom 96.9 and freedom969.com. Freedom
weather. Here's your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast. This afternoon, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 95. Tonight will be partly cloudy and humid with a low of 74. Tomorrow will be breezy with some sunshine and a high of 94. On Monday, anticipate a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 96. Tuesday will bring sunny to partly cloudy conditions and very warm temperatures reaching a high of 97. Wednesday looks mostly sunny and very warm, also with a high of 97. With your Oklahoma City AccuWeather forecast, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
We interrupt our program with a special bulletin.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are solely those of the speakers and other contributors. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of this station.
McRoof Fortifies, Oklahoma, back on the air for the second half of the show on this date in 1790. The U.S. is just 1 year old at this point. Congress passed the Funding Act of 1790, making the federal government responsible for debts incurred by the states. That may have changed since then. In fast forward about 100 years, 1896 on this date, Vitascope Hall, the first permanent for-profit movie theater, opened in New Orleans. Showing movies, make for a profit. Okay, our trivia question still out there. According to the currently adopted and amended Oklahoma Reconstruction Building Code, how many asphalt shingle roofs are allowed on a house? Is it 1? We know it's not 2. We know it's not 3. Is it 4 or more? So is it 1 or 4 or more? Give us a call, 405-608-4377. Okay, code compliant class.
So, as you know, we did some instruction for inspectors for City of Oklahoma City and this area, and also the inspectors over in the Tulsa, Eastern Oklahoma area week before last. And we're following that up now. ORCA is going to be presenting a code-compliant roofing class for all roofers, contractors, people associated in that industry that need to know about this stuff. We may have some inspectors in the class who missed out the first time around. This class will be on August the 6th. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it will be at the Southern Shingle, the SRS location, Southwest Oklahoma City. So anyway, more details to follow on that. Hey, talking about McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma.
Okay.
There is a new, the third installment of the rollouts for the Strengthen Oklahoma grant program through Oklahoma Insurance Department will roll out on August the 4th. So people who are who know a little bit about the OID grants, the $10,000 grants for fortifying improvements to your roof, need to have that August 4th date in mind. At noon, you'll need to be online claiming your spot. Now, this will be a much larger rollout than the first two have been, and it will be much more extensive in terms of coverage throughout the state. I'm not going to give anything away because OID has not put their press release out yet.
Okay.
But I will tell you that there will be new and additional zip codes within both Oklahoma City and Tulsa metros, and there will also be fairly significant rollout of zip codes outside of the two large metros. So people who were looking at the grant program and thinking, hey, is it ever going to get to my area? It may very well do it this time around. So.
Very well. Oh, it's time to get up on the roof. Oh, hang on, Scotty. Scotty's view from the rooftop. Scotty, what is your view? What's it look like up there?
Well, I wish it were as breezy this last week as it sounded in the sound bite, but it was very still this week. It made for brutal conditions on a roof,
Sticky.
especially at 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Muggy and sticky.
Yes, indeed. But my our view this week is called "Hey Joe, just add some more."
What'd you find, Scotty?
Well, it wasn't about much about what I found. It was what our crews found when they tore one of our clients' roofs off up in Enid starting on Thursday morning. And you know much more about that than I do. But from what I hear, there were 5 layers of roofing felt.
Ooh.
Or 4 layers, more exactly, 4 layers of roofing felt and 1 layer of synthetic underlayment.
So let's do the math, folks. Let's do the math.
7.8 years average lifespan of a standard grade architectural shingle in Oklahoma.
7.8 years times 5
layers.
And my math tells me that you're pushing 40 years.
Yeah.
Putting us back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Pushing 40 years since someone took the time to do a clean deck tear off.
Yep.
Remove all the layers of felt down to the deck, inspect the deck, nail the deck, repair the deck, and then install a new asphalt shingle roof.
Yep.
Yeah.
It turned a 1-day job, easily a 1-day job. It doubled the labor.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
It doubled the labor time and turned it into a full 2-day project.
They did not get, yes, we went to Enid anticipating, I thought we'd probably be done by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and gone. We went there, got started at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They were just finishing cleaning up the removal of all of those layers of underlayment, starting to re-nail and mend the deck.
Yeah, why would somebody do that though?
Why?
I know the answer to this question.
Because nobody cares. It is when.
Well, let me add something to that. I would say less time.
Less time.
Less time and less money to pay your crew.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It's a shortcut.
It's maybe there was no one on that job for the roofing company themselves. Maybe it's a roofing company that orders materials.
Well, again, we're talking about most likely 5 different.
I understand.
4 different companies after the original roof installation.
Roofers, and we talk about this all the time, most roofers order material and send a crew to a job. They have no one on site. They have no supervision. They have no one inspecting what they expect because they don't expect anything except that roofer's going to throw shingles, that crew's going to throw shingles on there and they're going to get a check. That's all their expectation is, okay? So that's it. It is, I mean, literally when I came to Oklahoma and started doing roofs here, every job I would go to, every crew would ask me, are we removing the felt? I would even have crews ask me, do we have to remove the felt?
Right.
And then I would have crews, particularly in the synthetic, where you have synthetic over something else, they go, do we have to remove the synthetic? Why? Why? Right. Nobody else makes us do this. I don't care what somebody else makes you do, okay? And over time, my crews, obviously, they're through their master shingle applicator training with certainty. They understand the concepts. They're beginning to understand. They know what I want. It's like the guy yesterday or the guy in Enid. This is the second job that he's done for me, okay? Second job he's done for me. And when I drove up, he says, oh, yeah, I remember you. You want perfecto. I said, absolutely. So there were no questions about anything. They knew exactly what they're going to do.
So on this house with the 5 layers of shingles, was the same homeowner for 40?
No. The homeowners, our client has owned the house 9 years. Okay. Our client's owned the house 9 years. So he had never had a roof replaced. So he had no idea what this was. Now, Scotty had determined that there were multiple layers of underlayment, but Scotty didn't know how many.
If the drip edge detail is done properly at the eaves, an inspector can't know more than that there's 2 layers.
Right.
Or more than 1 layer is all you can determine definitively.
Because if it's properly installed, it covers everything.
Exactly.
So in this particular job, we tear off everything, and the decking actually was not in horrible condition. The decking was, for the age and everything else, the decking was actually in really good condition. We replaced, I think, 4 or 5 sheets of decking because there was delamination or water damage, particularly around
it's about 150 square
around
feet.
Pipes and valleys. We did that. So
but where one would expect on a roof that old, the damage would be where you would expect.
Well,
it to be.
and you also, and people talk about you'll have home builders in particular here say that we don't need ice and water here, okay, because there's no history of ice damming or anything like that. Let me tell you guys, I can show you on these roofs, Scotty can show you, everybody can show you where we tear off and there was no ice and water put around the pipe penetrations. There was no ice and water protection in the valley. Everything around the furnace vents, the water heater vents, every time we're going to be able to show you signs of water around that penetration that could very easily have been prevented. I mean, with a $2 piece of ice and water, and I mean $2 including the piece of ice and water and the labor it took to put it on there, that all could have been prevented. And now you've got a sheet of decking that has to be replaced, because it's rotted or delaminated, and that is not paid for by the insurance company because that is gradual wear, tear, and deterioration. That is not code coverage. That is something not being done correctly the first time. The insurance company's not going to pay for that. Okay? That's 2 different things.
Wow.
So
there are professionals out there, but they are few and farther between.
Well, I'll tell you, the Oklahoma Roofing Contractors Association is changing that game. The bar is being raised. The challenge is out. The education is beginning, and this bar is going to be raised. And the real winners, Avery and I were having this conversation last night, the real winners will be the citizens of Oklahoma who will be getting what they deserve to get.
Well, it's about darn time.
Ain't it?
Last call for our trivia question. How many layers of asphalt shingle roofs are allowed on a house according to the Oklahoma Reconstruction Building Code?
Oklahoma the residential building code.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it 1? We know it's not 2 or 3. So is it 1?
1 or 4 or more?
Or 4 or more. If you think you know the obvious answer, give us a call at 405-608-4377. And
we're going to talk ventilation when we come back.
And we'll talk ventilation when we come back, and we'll hopefully have someone to talk to with the trivia question. You're listening to McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. We will be back after this, talking ventilation. Homer Stacy was a wholesome, good American kid from Texas. At the age of 18, he enlisted in the United States Army Horse Cavalry and was stationed at Fort Bliss. Homer was fascinated with aircraft, so he went to flight school and became an Army Air Corps pilot. Homer Stacy flew a Convair B-24 Liberator, the Yankee Doodle Dandy, on November 11, 1943, when his crew, along with 31 other bombers, destroyed a ball-bearing plant in occupied France. On a return trip, a mechanical failure caused the Yankee Doodle Dandy to drop out of formation, leaving it vulnerable, and shortly thereafter, 7 German Me-109s shot down the plane near Andano, Italy. 4 crew members were killed on board, the others parachuted. 1 was captured and taken prisoner. Homer was among the remaining 5 who made it to Switzerland and returned to duty. Homer Stacy survived World War II, the Korean War, and retired after 23 years of service with many awards and commendations, including the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart, and multiple air medals. Homer Stacy McCollum, Scott McCollum's dad. Scott McCollum is McRoof. McRoof.us is owned and operated by the McCollum family, an honorable, trustworthy red, white, and blue family. If you want to fortify your property, call McRoof.us at 405-877-4663. Ask for your complimentary roof inspection performed by a credentialed Hague residential inspector. McRoof.us, saving lives and protecting property by fortifying Oklahoma, one roof at a time. McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma back on the air for the final segment of this morning's live radio show. On this date in 1908, the U.S. Attorney General issued an order to immediately staff the Office of the Chief Examiner. Now, who was that? Well, that was later renamed the FBI. And on a somewhat related note, 9 years later on this date, a young man named J. Edgar Hoover got a job at the Department of Justice. Fast forward to 1990, President George H.W. Bush, Bush the Elder, signed the Americans with Disabilities Act. Okay, on the phone, we have Mick giving a shot at the trivia question. So welcome, Mick.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi there. So how many layers of asphalt shingles are allowed to be on a residential house in Oklahoma? 1, or is it 4 or more?
I'm going to say 1.
Good for you.
Congratulations, Mick.
So, Mick, did you actually know that, or were you just taking a shot at it?
Just guess.
Well, it was a good guess.
I tell you what, I'm going to say Mick is
your honesty.
Mick is a connected dots guy. He heard us talk about clean deck tear off. He says, "Well, if you have to have clean deck tear off, how the heck can you have more than one asphalt shingle on that roof?"
That's what I was trying to.
That's how Mick figured it out.
I was trying to nudge you earlier to not.
Also, my little brother owns his own roofing company. So
oh, there you go. There you go.
He teaches me stuff. So.
Hey, is he a member of the Oklahoma Roofer Contractors Association?
I have no idea. He just started his business like a few months ago.
I'll tell you what, ask him to look me up, and we need to talk about Orca and all the educational stuff that's available for him, the things that will help him with his business as he grows, and love to make the connections with him. So that's awesome, Mick. So you're going to stay on the line so that you can give Randy all your information and let him know if you want the tickets or if you want a gift card, okay?
So, Mick,
All right, no problem.
you've won 2 free tickets to see a play this weekend, either tonight or tomorrow afternoon. It's called She Kills Monsters at Carpenter Square Theater. It's about Dungeons and Dragons, but it's more than that, but it's Dungeons and Dragons. So give Randy your information and tell him if you want the theater tickets or a $25 Lowe's gift card.
Hey, Mick, if you want to give Randy your brother's company name or some information, I'll call your brother on Monday and talk to him a little bit. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up that he ought to know about.
All right.
Okay, man. Thanks for calling. Thanks for playing.
Okay. So we'll save the after the storm tip to where after Randy gets off the phone with Mick.
Yeah, I want to jump in on ventilation.
Ventilation.
Got a call. Got a call last weekend from a listener up in Enid, and questions about his metal roof and some things that he had been told, the way the roof was installed and different things like that. And then lo and behold, he was told by his contractor that his metal roof did not need or require any ventilation.
Huh.
And let me just read to you from the IRC, the International Residential Code. Ventilation requirements for a roof system according to the 2018 code, provision of 1 square foot of net free ventilation area for each 150 square feet of attic floor space. Enclosed attics, enclosed rafter spaces formed where ceilings are applied directly to the underside of rafters. Vaulted ceilings shall have cross ventilation for each separate space by ventilating openings protected against the entrance of rain or snow. The IRC does not specify the location of intake vents or exhaust vents, nor does it specify the ratio of intake to exhaust. So it says that they must be ventilated.
Right.
And we know that science tells us that the ratio of intake to exhaust is at least 50% intake to exhaust, okay? So what we're seeking is that balanced attic ventilation system. This man's metal roof was installed with no ventilation, okay? Has no soffit ventilation on his building, and he has no ventilation on his. So I've gone into the technical bulletins from his manufacturer, and it's really funny. One of the first things I start seeing their technical bulletins are all the technical bulletins about all their ventilation products. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so your contractor, who supposedly was a credentialed contractor by this manufacturer, telling you don't have to ventilate it, and here's all their ventilation stuff.
Supposedly is the key term.
Supposedly, yeah. So then there's all these studies about how their roofs will perform. Okay, based on being properly ventilated, that their roofs will achieve what is known as cool roof status. All right, that's about emissivity, that's about reflectivity, that's about all these different things. Their roofs, even in the darkest colors, properly ventilated, would have achieved, quote unquote, cool roof status. His roof is not cool roof status. It was applied direct to deck, so there's no airspace, okay? These roof systems can be applied direct to deck, which is the back to the less labor, the cheaper, all that. Direct to deck is the cheapest way to do it. A batten system is more material, more labor, another step in the process, but it creates that airspace underneath that metal roof. Okay, guys, just don't take a contractor's word for ventilation. If I could challenge consumers about anything, and I've said this, I can take the crappiest shingle in the world, install it exactly per the manufacturer's requirements, and properly ventilate that roof for you, and it will outperform the primo roof that was installed next door, the luxury impact-resistant roof that was installed next door that was not properly ventilated. Okay? So ventilation is that critical. People ask me, why don't our roofs perform? How come we don't get the life out of our roofs? The number one reason is the reasons are they're not systems roofs. They're not installed by professionals who build a system per the manufacturer's requirements and instructions. But the number one reason is the roofs are not properly ventilated. That is the number one reason. Ventilation is that critical. Every consumer in Oklahoma should be asking their contractor, show me your ventilation calculations on my home. Show me what you intend to install and show me that it in fact meets what the calculators say we have to have on our roof. Okay?
You know, I have a buddy, I was telling him about, who mentioned he needed a new roof, and I mentioned about the fortified stuff and asked him if his contractor had mentioned anything about that in Class 4.
Oh, of course.
And, of course, he hadn't. And I said, but above all, ask him to see his ventilation calculations.
There you go.
And my buddy looked at me like, what? And I said, believe me, your contractor will be just as baffled as you are. And if he tells you he doesn't need to do that, then run away, because that contractor doesn't know what he's doing.
It's kind of like my expression that I say about when
That's
they
great,
knock
Rick.
on.
Thank you for sharing
When
that.
when they knock on the door and you ask them for the orange card, and I say if they look at you like you have 4 horns, if you ask them about ventilation and they look at you like you have 4 horns, you're probably not talking to a professional.
Yeah. Hey, we have just enough time to get after the storm. So this is brought to you by Roof RX, the prescription for your ailing roof.
So it's super hot now. Really, things started heating up. When we get into the late summer, the dog days, and kind of move on, this is when we get roof temperatures where the roof temperature itself will be in excess of 150 degrees on top of that roof. We get a late afternoon pop-up thunderstorm or get a shower comes in, and we drop down. Like in Enid the other day, when I left, it was 105. When I went back yesterday morning, it was 72, okay? They had over 2 inches of rain Thursday night in Enid. So when we have one of those situations, the roof that Scotty inspected in March, April, May that looked like there was some damage there, but it wasn't enough, or it wasn't obvious, or it wasn't whatever, and it wasn't at that threshold where we would have advised the filing of a claim. Now, after the superheating and the supercooling that we get this time of year, potentially, that roof may look totally different, okay? Because the superheating happens, the supercooling happens, the granule in that supercooling starts contracting and everything starts breaking loose. Then you have a heavy rain like a thunderstorm or something significant, washes that granule away. And now what was a 50-50 roof 3 or 4 months ago is now a no-brainer. So the point is re-inspect. Now, Scotty and Kelvin and Johnny have a list of roofs that they wanted to re-inspect later in the year. And that's what we're talking about. Now they'll look at and they'll know when these supercooled storms occur in the afternoons or evenings or overnight, and they will go back out to each one of those. And a number of those people who they had previously told you do not need to do anything right now will look at it again, will now be getting in line to file their insurance claim. So inspect. Everything we do starts with an inspection. Roof RX.
Inspect at least twice a year.
I have to say, S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing.
Wow.
So it is about time for us to be moving on. So, Dad's wisdom.
All right. In my mind, I make incremental improvements almost every day. Unfortunately, my mind is the only one that thinks so.
Do you have someone to attribute that to?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been McRoof Fortifies Oklahoma on Freedom 96.9. Thank you, Scott McCullum. Thank you, Scotty McCullum. Thank you, Retro Radio Randy. Maybe you'll get off of probation.
Thank you,
one
Mick
of
and
these
Carmen.
days.
We really appreciate you. Hey, I talked to our good friend the other day, and Benny, he's doing great.
Oh, good. We'll be back next week.
KQOP Enid, Oklahoma City. Freedom